Well, it's going to be a hot one, ladies and gentlemen, and whew, it is getting up to around the 40 mark. I'm actually in central Portugal. I'm not back home in Cornwall in the woodlands doing that bushcraft shelter. That will have to wait till I get back from this trip. I'm here to see family, but I do take the opportunity to go hiking. I've got a mountain reasonably close, so that I will be going hiking up. But I'm actually back on the trackways, the lanes, and the little access tracks that go off to various properties running through the bush. It is a beautiful morning and I'm up very early. Because of the heat, you really do not want to be out here midday and in the afternoon or late morning really. The heat can get debilitating when it gets up to that mark. There's a bit of wind, so I'm grateful for that. But the sun is starting to come up already. I started to walk at around about 6 a.m. This is a very close by track to me. It's not a long one. And it's just me really acclimatising today, just to get my, basically the feel for the place again. And I think you can agree it's absolutely stunning. Sadly though, I'm stood next to a little property I used to daydream and while away what it would be like to own this and turn this into my very own little getaway into central Portugal. It looks like it's been, let go back further than the 2 years when I last came down these tracks and used to sit here. I'll let you have a look. It's just, you can still see what it was and what it is, but sadly, like a lot of places here, they seem to be going to rack and ruin or being left to go back to nature. So I'll let you have a little look and we'll have a little talk about it. And I think you'll agree, my daydreaming was quite justified because it's a beautiful little oasis, as I always called it, amongst the deserty kind of like scrubby, dry wasteland conditions around it. So here's the main access gate to the property. It does have a padlock on and you can see it's really overgrown. You can see vines and you can see a building over there. There's fig trees, various fruit trees. There's a cork oak in the back. It's packed full of, it looks like pears as well, apples. But the problem you got with this property here, as you can see, is a trackway I've come down which is narrow, and there's one almost 90-degree turn. You wouldn't get most vehicles down it. And then you got this trackway which goes up a slight slope, yet again extremely narrow and extremely rocky. You would need a major four-wheel drive and not a big one at that, so you wouldn't be getting a vehicle very easily down here. Now you got the grapes that are literally overflowing over the wall. Some of them look like they will be turning to raisins, I think, in there. But if I bring it down here, you can see how the grapes of basically the vines are using the trees to go up further. Now I think it's actually pears there, just beginning to develop small ones. Right, I'm just walking down a bit further and you can see the structure. You can see that big pole and that's a well. And I think there's one in the further corner. But all of it's becoming overgrown now. The vines aren't being tended. The trees are literally looking pretty, they're looking unkempt. 2 years ago, it was still in good condition here. I love these old stone walls. These must have been here hundreds of years. And look how they bow out. There's not a straight line amongst them. And that's part of the charm. But this is looking back into the property, and as you can see, you can just about make out the rows of the actual vines and all the other trees. There's an olive tree. That won't be long before it needs some major surgery, tree surgery, to get it back into shape. But here's that well. But on the opposite side here, you will see a big pond. I grant you it's not looking clean and it looks like a lot of insects buzzing around, but something like that is a bit of a rarity in this area. So it indicates that it's holding water here, this little bit of valley. Now this is the slope I was talking to you guys about. You may be thinking, yeah, it's pretty easy. But once this vegetation gets trampled and brought down like this, it is actually quite slick to walk up in itself. And there's lots of boulders in amongst it. Like I said, you'd need a serious four-wheel drive. But look at that cork oak. I looked at one earlier. You may have seen me stop and look at it. But you can see all the cork has been stripped off it. That's where they finished stripping it, and that's where the new bark or cork is starting to grow again. And most trees around this area are harvested like that. Right, I'm in a rural part of central Portugal, and yeah, you will find yourself going to sleep at sundown to the chorus of dogs barking, and you will wake to the dawn chorus of actual dogs barking along with roosters and chickens. So if that's not your thing, central Portugal, when you get out in the sticks, really isn't the place for you. Fortunately for me, it doesn't really bother me, and we quite like that feel of ruralness. So yeah, and it does have a quaint charm about it. Now sadly, and I pointed it out many years ago, you will walk these trackways, and occasionally you will find, basically I suppose, Portugal's version of fly tipping. And it's just rubbish literally tipped everywhere. So it does kind of spoil, you know, you might walk into a beautiful location, start looking around and suddenly find a pile of rubbish. You know, unfortunately it's not just a UK issue. This little eucalyptus grove has got rubbish everywhere inside of it. You come down here, you can see plastic all the way through. Along here there's bottles, glass and everything like that, and it's right down through there. When we were here last time, I was always a little bit concerned to see dogs chained up in a field, and apparently that is to ward off predators on their livestock. I think there's Eurasian lynx, if I'm correct. Possibly not, but I think there may be lynx, wolf, mongoose and various other predators that can predate on their livestock. So they keep dogs to ward them off. But saying that, that was like 2 years ago. I haven't seen any yet, and I'm on this trackway now, and yeah, I haven't heard any yet. Last time I set a load of them off, but haven't seen any yet. You can just make out the faint shadows of the Sierra de Estrella mountains over there, but we're not going there. We're on this old road. And what a beautiful little trackway this is. I'll drop it back down. Look at this. And I'm skirting between the trees, staying out of the sun. The sun is still climbing in the sky, and I can feel sweat on my back already. But every time you hit the shadow cast by a tree, it does feel refreshing. Now this trackway for me will take me around into a little local village nearby where I'm staying. I'm not staying in the village, I'm staying a bit further out. It's got a nice church, Oh, I can just see a dog there. I've set him off. I spoke too soon. Well, there he is. He's staring at me. He's not happy I'm walking down this trackway. He's doing his job as a guard dog. I think I'm going to leave him be and not antagonise him and just crack on. So I'm walking down into the village and the sun is getting quite high now, and I could actually do a breakfast, a nice cup of coffee, a bit of toast. So I'm looking forward to getting back home now, but it has been a pleasant little hike out and around in the countryside here, and I've still got the village to look forward to walking through, and I haven't been here for 2 years, so I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I'm really enjoying walking down these little narrow streets, and they offer a nice bit of shade. That sun is starting to get quite strong. You can actually feel it through a t-shirt, a cotton t-shirt, so that tells you how strong and how hot it's going to be today. But there's a lot of like little narrow streets before you get down to the main road. The village is coming to life. There's a lot of like old ladies out cleaning the steps and things like that. This reminds you of, well, typical oldie world Portugal. I'm actually getting lost in a maze of streets. I'm disappearing down alleyways, and it's interesting, and I'm meeting quite a few local people, very friendly, and yeah, smiling when I try to greet them in their local hello. I'm not going to do it on camera because I butcher it, but yeah, I'm trying to come out by the church. It's a really nice building, and I should imagine it's still the focal point of a little village like this. Well, I've navigated my way through the streets looking for that church spire, which you might just see above that roof there. So, as long as I keep walking in that direction, I should be heading towards the church. Right, I think I've come into the square where the church is, and you can walk right the way around it. But it looks a beautiful building, even from, well, basically almost the back of it. Let's go around the front. I think this goes down to the main road. It does, yeah. Right, I'm coming around to the front of it, and this is the road that runs through this little village. And here it is. What a splendid building. Absolutely glorious. Well, I've got a sun behind it, but I'm grateful for that actually, because it is actually blistering hot already, and the clock says 20 past 8. Now I am being hit by the sun. Whoa, absolutely glorious building though, I think you'll agree. There's a bell in the tower, and that clock's telling me I've got to walk the half-mile on this lane or road back to my place and start thinking about getting my family out of bed. Now I'm walking down this road, and there is a cafe and another place on the opposite side. People can get coffee, and you've got locals outside drinking and starting their day, drinking coffee and enjoying a peaceful start to the day. I'm not going to film people as I go past, because quite simply it's disrespectful, I believe. Right, I'm leaving the centre of the village behind. Just going to follow the road, and it is a little bit busy because obviously people are going to work at the moment, but it's nowhere near as busy as the UK roads. Well, that was a thoroughly charming little walk, early morning walk in central Portugal. Now, I'm very, very keen to meet a elderly gentleman that used to always wave to me, and I would try to exchange some words with him, and he would try to, much to his amusement, communicate with me. A very elderly gentleman, but what was really intriguing, he was riding a little 50cc fizzy motorbike. Now, anybody from the UK of my age and above will know the fizzy was the motorbike of motorbikes, well, moped of mopeds, and they could be tuned up to go at quite a rapid pace for a 50cc motorcycle. But his isn't a fast one. What's interesting about his is he's adapted a trailer to go on the back of it, and I have seen him bombing along these little lanes on a 50cc moped with possibly 6 feet high stacked of some sort of vegetation that he's obviously harvested for his livestock. Absolutely, well, it's a curiosity to see, but yeah, I really want to bump into him. I haven't seen him on this particular outing, but I'm here for a little while, so I'm sure I will. But yeah, real character. Oh, and while I was here, wildfires are quite a thing, and they were when I was here last time. You could see them up in the mountains, but somebody had chucked some trash away in a bin and it started smouldering. It caught fire, and he was the first one to spot it. And yeah, he come out and he was shouting and screaming, and yeah, bless his heart, this old guy helped put out this fire in this bin. Obviously it's a mutual thing, because you don't want your local area to go up in smoke when you're in a high risk fire area like this. Right, I'm not too far. I can actually see the entrance I got to turn into, and I'm going to get a coffee. I really do need it. Last night I came around one of these corners and found a tractor in the middle of the road, no lights or anything like that. So you know, if you're in central Portugal, be prepared for the unexpected on the roads. That's probably a general statement. I suppose it could apply to the UK or anywhere else, but yeah, it's always worth bearing in mind that you're kind of stepping back a little bit in time, I guess, here, and things are at a slower pace. So yeah, just be prepared and stay safe on the roads. But I'm going to go and grab a cup of coffee. Thanks for coming along on this little hike, and I will be going up into the mountains, and I should take you along on that one, because I'd like to document that a little bit better than last time. So yeah, thanks, and take care, stay safe, and I hope to catch you guys out on the trail.